What's up, vapors? Thanks for checking out Daily Vape TV. My name is Nick, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Mage Sub-Ohm-Tank. Alright guys, so the random question of the day is, if you got to choose a superpower between flight or invisibility, which one would you choose and why? I want to hear from you guys right down there in the comments box below. Personally, this is a tricky one because I would be happy with either. Honestly, both are awesome superpowers, but just speaking financially, I think flight would save me a lot of money because I can get to where I need to go in minutes no matter what, and it doesn't cost me a thing, so I could be at every single convention under the sun and I would get to see you guys. So there you go. There's my answer. Let me know what you guys think right down there in the comments box below. So this video is going to be all about this guy right here, the Mage Sub-Ohm-Tank by CoilArt, with a big shout out and thank you going to CoilArt for allowing me to take a look at all of their latest products for the purpose of making these videos. So this is CoilArt's first Sub-Ohm-Tank, and I gotta say they did a pretty darn good job with this one here. They have a mesh coil inside, which is definitely up to modern standards, and it comes with a bubble glass as well. So taking a look online, this device comes in 7 different color options for you to choose from. You have black, black and blue, black and gold, black and red, gold, gunmetal, and silver, and it's going to run you about $29, which is pretty much on par for sub-ohm tanks nowadays. And if you guys want to pick one of these up for yourself, I'll leave a link right down there in the description below. But without further ado, let's go ahead and dive down to the close-up view and take a better look at this thing. Alright guys, so as you can see, we've got the Mage Subtank in its original box, so let's quickly take a look around the packaging and then talk about what's inside. Picture the device right there in the front with a bit of spot gloss. There you go. We also have a holographic mesh coil sticker there saying, hey guys, I have mesh coils, check me out. On the side here, we have Mesh Subtank. Same thing on this side here. On the top, we have a whole bunch of color options that this thing doesn't come in, and mine is black and gold. And on the bottom here, we have all of their social media. So if you guys want to follow CoilArt, there you go. On the back, typical stuff, what it comes with, a bunch of warnings, UPC, more warnings, and the scratch-off authentication thing right there. So let's just go ahead, take off the cover. Whoop, there we go. Well, what do we have here? So yeah, fold-out manual, okay? I have a big problem with fold-out manuals. However, the printing is, normal sized and the graphics are color. So minus 2.5 points there. Whatever. We have our QC check card right there. And, of course, the Mage Subtank itself in all its glory. We'll take a look at that in just a second. I guarantee yours will not come pre-filled with juice though. And we have a frosted plastic bubble glass, so that increases the capacity. We have a single O-ring in a little baggie here. Oh, one lonely little O-ring. And a spare coil. There we go. So we have our spare coil right there. Alright guys, let's talk about the specs. First of all, it's 24 millimeters in diameter. It holds 4 mils of e-liquid, or 5.5 mils with the bubble tank. It has a knurled top cap filling system with dual fill ports. It uses the CoilArt Mage coil family, which includes a 0.2 ohm mesh coil recommended 60 to 80 watts, and the 0.4 ohm Kanthal coil recommended 40 to 50 watts. Dual adjustable bottom airflow with 11.5 millimeter by 2 millimeter slots, 810 drip tip included with a 9 millimeter bore, and it's stainless steel and glass construction. Alright guys, let's take a look at the Mage Subtank up close. First things first, let's start from top to bottom with the drip tip right here. An 810 drip tip with a nice wide bore through the top, as you can see right there. And it matches with the bottom. There you go, you can see that. With a nice gold ring around the bottom section there. Yeah, it looks like there was supposed to be an O-ring on this thing, but there's not. Not sure what that's all about, but in any case, it does have an O-ring on the inside lip of the top cap section here. Hopefully you guys can see that. And just to show you that it is in fact 810, we've got a dead rabbit tip and fits nice and snug. No problems with that whatsoever. Here you can see that the bore on the drip tip doesn't quite match up with that of the chimney section, but otherwise this top cap here is nice and knurled. You can see it going all the way around, and that makes for an easy grip when it comes time to fill up the tank, because you can just unscrew it like that. Threading is absolutely gorgeous on this thing, no problems with that whatsoever. There you can see a little tiny O-ring sitting on top there, which I'm surprised they didn't give you an extra one in the box, and I'm a little bit afraid that that thing is going to eventually pop out and I'm going to lose it. So, they should have given you a little bit more in that little baggie of parts there, but hey, what are you going to do? So we have the big kidney-shaped filling ports there at the top, which are very ample and really easy to fill this thing up. Here you can see the inside of the coil, because I know you guys were going to ask me about that, and yes, it is in fact mesh, and it's a little bit misshapen. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's not really perfectly round, which, I mean, I'm not expecting absolute perfection 100% of the time, but they could have tried a little bit harder with this. So here's a Medusa coil that I normally use in my Baby Beast compatible tanks, so let's just go ahead and see if it threads in. Oh yeah, that threads in really nicely. So yeah, if you have some Baby Beast coils laying around and your tank is broken or something like that, you just want an upgrade, this is a solid option for you guys. And here's the airflow control, which you can have fully open or fully closed or anywhere else in between, but it has this nice little separate section over here where it's kind of like half airflow. So you can see that section right there, which is also matched up on all three holes, there, and there. And it makes for a nice smooth airflow. And last but not least, we have the gold-plated 510 pin, which appears to be floating, so do not use this on a hybrid mechanical mod. But yeah, that's about it for the close-ups of the Mage Subtank. Let's go back to the main screen, have a quick vape on this thing, and we'll talk about it some more. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the close-up section of this video. Now let's talk about my personal thoughts about this device, some pros, some cons, and whether or not it's worth purchasing. Starting off with the pros, my first pro is the mesh coils. I'm really glad to see that CoilArt is keeping up with the latest and greatest in vaping technology, and they came out with a mesh coil sub-ohm tank. Honestly, I believe that if they came out with a standard round wire coil tank, it just wouldn't really sell all that well, but just for the simple fact that it has mesh inside those coils is a big plus in my book. My second pro for this one is the airflow. Not only does it have triple airflow, which makes it a little bit smoother, but it's not your typical Cyclops eye style airflow control where you just kind of close it off by spinning it. This one here has two main kind of bubbled out chambers where you have fully open with slight adjustability and the half open with slight adjustability as well. So you can really just cater the airflow to exactly how you like it. My third pro today is the aesthetics, and I realize that's a subjective pro, but it adds a bit of functionality as well. With the top and bottom sections being knurled, it's easy to just grab onto your airflow control and change it, or your top cap to remove it in order to fill this thing. So not only does it function really well, but it looks pretty doing it. And my fourth and final pro for this device is the build quality. This thing feels like it was really well made. Now, that for a tank that's kind of right in the middle as far as price range, I feel like you're getting a lot for your money with this one. All the threading is really nice. The airflow control is easy to move, but it doesn't feel like it's going to adjust itself on you, and everything just kind of fits right where it should. So as far as I'm concerned, this thing feels like it's going to last me a very long time, and I know my money is not going towards a whole bunch of flash and no function. There is a lot of functionality in this tank here. Alright guys, so moving on to the cons. My first con is that it leaks if you let it sit. Now, I let this thing sit for a day or two and it dumped juice all over my hand, which is definitely not an uncommon thing when it comes to sub-ohm tanks. It happens a lot, and I just feel like we're all growing to accept it, which is just unfortunate because I wish manufacturers would just put a little bit more time and effort into the whole pressure system behind a tank and just kind of adjusting it so that it doesn't leak juice every time you let it sit for more than a couple of days. My second con for this device is the filling method is outdated. Now, you've heard me talk about this with other sub-ohm tanks where the threaded top cap that you have to take off to fill is just super old news, and I just really wish that people would come up with better ways of filling your tank than that, because honestly, it can be a bit messy, and if you take off your top cap, you have to find a place to put it, and then you get juice all over your hands, and it's just a mess, and it's a pain in the ass. So just, you know, slide open top fill caps. It's that easy. I feel like that would solve all the issues there, and it's not that hard to design. And my third and final con today is that the flavor is just kind of okay. It's really not spectacular. It's not knock your socks off good, and as far as comparing it to the other mesh coil tanks that I've tried, it's kind of on the bottom of that spectrum. I would put it slightly above average when it comes to the round wire coil tanks that I've tried in the past, but overall I'm vaping Blaz in there right now, and it's just not quite doing it for me. So So at the end of the day, is this device worth purchasing? Would I go out of my way to pick one of these up if I didn't get this one in for review? I'm going to say yes to this one, but only just barely. Honestly, there are plenty of other better mesh sub-ohm tanks out there on the market, but the Mage Subtank is better than any round wire coil tank that I've used. So with that, if you want to purchase one for yourself, I'll leave a link right down there in the description below. But that about does it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more videos just like this. Don't forget to click that notification bell right next to the subscribe button if you want to be alerted whenever I upload videos. Also, leave me some comments in the box below. I'd love to hear your thoughts about the Mage Subtank or anything else you guys want to discuss down there. Make sure you check out the advocacy and my social media links right down there in the description below. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and as always, vape on.